everybody. I'm SSI's senior/web editor, Steve Caranzalidis, and joining me today is Brian Mallari, who heads up smart video surveillance business marketing at Western Digital. How's it going, Brian?
All right. How are you, Steve?
I'm doing great. So today we want to spend a little time talking about the trends and solutions for integrators in surveillance and the role that storage plays. So Brian, what would you say some of the reasons video surveillance is continuing to be an investment by businesses?
Well, certainly for, I don't know how many of the past years, I think surveillance has been around since the late 50s, but security, first and foremost, is important to any business and does require investment. So one of the advantages, of course, video surveillance is providing an additional level of safety, security, monitoring, happenings, for liability purposes. And even today, it's being used to improve customer satisfaction through business intelligence. So all of these, leverage video surveillance. But the most important thing is that the surveillance industry continues to evolve and the customer needs continue to evolve. And this does require some continuous investment. So some examples of this are, the cameras are getting to be more reliable and have higher resolution. So with higher resolution, you're able to see more with these cameras, and that improves, the capability of the video surveillance solution. As you probably know, like for example, license plate recognition, right? If you have a camera in the front of your store and you have some sort of crime happen, with a higher resolution camera, you can actually read some details, including license plates, where you couldn't before. The other thing is that, and what we've seen since about 2019, is the real emergence of artificial intelligence in video surveillance. What this means is the cameras themselves have some intelligence to recognize objects. Whether, for example, if you're monitoring a train platform for trespassers or something like that, and cameras these days are able to, say, distinguish a person from, say, a coyote or an animal, right, a raccoon. Right, and so this helps to address some of the false alarms that older video solutions might have triggered. Actually, in the most advanced form, right, today's solutions can actually recognize, say, cars entering a parking lot, reading their license plate, comparing that license plate to a database of approved license plates, and maybe even allowing the gate to open because that person is automatically charged, right, for the parking. Or they live there. And then, of course, facial recognition, which in some cases is controversial. Other times it also is used by businesses to match, hey, does this person look like the person who's registered with the badge on that person as they enter a building? So it's used for access control. So for all these reasons, higher resolution, higher effectiveness of these surveillance solutions, and AI being utilized, it makes for a more compelling and more effective solution, and that's why people are continuing to invest in it.
So you mentioned, AI, all these new video analytics and higher resolution. How does that impact storage?
Oh, in many ways. So first of all, high resolution is simply just means more bits, and more bits require more storage. As you probably know, moving from a 1080p to 4K camera or TV actually delivers 4 times the number of bits or pixels. And in addition, 4K compliant video actually increases the color depth from 16 bits to 30 bits. So when you do the math, it means every frame of 4K video has over 7 times the number of bits as a full HD frame. Now that would suggest you need 7 times the storage, but today's compression is better than ever, as in, the video streams are actually compressed down to make sure that they're occupying as little storage as possible. So today's compression technology actually mitigates this increase due to the resolution. So the increase in the storage needs, instead of 7 times, right, is now only about 3 times. Still, that is a substantial increase in storage. So that's what high resolution does to you. And then, but high resolution itself has some advantages because we talked about AI. The effectiveness of AI and smart video is actually increased when you're using high resolution video. So again, there's a need for high resolution video for multiple reasons, and this does increase the storage requirements.
So you touched on it a little bit, but what are some of the benefits of higher storage capacity?
Well, we have a full range of storage devices, whether it's micro SD cards or hard drives. Even our micro SD cards go up to 1 terabyte, and our hard drives up to 22 terabyte. Generally, the higher capacity that you have, the more storage and the more video you can capture. So there's a lot of requirements these days, whether it is a government requirement or an industry requirement, like in banking, where they do require the retention of certain amounts of data, whether it's 60 days of video, 90 days worth of video. And in a surveillance solution, as you write video to a storage device, right, it just accumulates and accumulates. And then when that storage device fills up, it starts to rewrite. So if you have a high storage requirement or retention requirement, it does require you to have a big enough storage device so that as you fill up that storage and you hit that required, retained time, only at that point can you rewrite the drive. So again, it drives the need for higher capacity storage. And then also in some use cases like smart cities, keeping video of intersections or bridges over time can help uncover or actually detect patterns, right? And this is what AI is all about, or analytics is to look for patterns, and then you can actually make decisions or extract insights from those patterns, and then make decisions which, ultimately benefit the future. For example, uncovering safety issues, maybe in the design of those intersections or the bridges that can help, be corrected and then used to save lives in the future.
Great. So in SSI's recent deep dive surveillance survey, we found that integrators are looking for ease of installation, ease of use for the end customer, and protected pro-only product lines. These were the top 3 features that help them sell more surveillance products. It helps them stay productive, more efficient, and maintain a competitive advantage. Is this something that Western Digital is seeing too?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually make this simple for users by leveraging our WD Purple brand. Our customers know and trust that our drives, our Purple drives, mean smart video and surveillance. They're designed for it. And that, when they buy a WD Purple branded product, it does make for this sort of sense of ease of selection, ease of installation, and ease of use. So there is some, we recognize that, and our goal is to make this a plug and play type of a drive, and to remove sort of the doubts or any concerns. And so we actually design our storage devices with the attributes that matter in a surveillance or a smart video solution. So regarding the pro type of surveillance products, there are heavy duty solutions out there, video surveillance and smart video solutions, that require not only more capacity, but more durable storage. And for that, we do offer our WD Purple Pro HDD line, which is designed with higher durability, higher workload capability, and generally very high capacities.
So how are Western Digital products tailored specifically for surveillance applications?
It's a great question. At Western Digital, we make a lot of storage devices from flash to hard drives. And basically, our value add is designing those devices for the application. And it's no different with surveillance and smart video. So first of all, to be surveillance optimized, a device has to be able to run 24/7. Not all of our storage devices are designed for 24/7 operation. Whether it's a laptop or a desktop that you turn off periodically. We needed a storage device that's 24/7. So it's definitely important to be that. Secondly, our storage devices have the right features and or firmware tuning to match the application, that's in need of them. So, for example, a micro SD card that goes into a camera, it can't just be a regular micro SD card. It has to be what's called a high endurance micro SD card, because that camera is running 24/7. It's recording constantly, which means that as it's recording to that card, when it runs out of space on that card, it has to restart and rewrite that card. So the card has to be able to handle that rewrite, and that's what we call endurance. And many of the USB flash devices that you might buy aren't designed with high endurance. And then on the hard drive side, and this is really important, what makes a drive surveillance optimized is where you have the firmware that is optimized for the workload. And in the surveillance solution, we have a lot of streaming rights. Imagine 64 HD camera streams being written to the drive all at once, in simultaneously, and you want to write it in such a way that you don't drop a frame. Well, this is important, and this is probably one of the most important things about a surveillance class drive or a smart video class drive, is the ability to write all those streams. And then finally, there are varying workloads. So you need a device of varying durability. If you're dealing with video analytics or AI deep learning, for example, in a backend server, you need an enterprise class drive with the highest level of reliability, durability, and workload capability and performance. And so you need it really, and high capacity as well, because in these video analytics solutions and deep learning, it involves the analysis of hours, thousands of hours of video, and all that video has to be stored. So you need more capacity as well. So this is really what we mean by surveillance optimized. Some core pieces of both the 24/7 capability, the right tuning or features, and of course the durability and the capacity at the back end.
Great. Yeah, it's important because just think about how much data is transferred and stored now compared to even 10 years ago. It's crazy.
Yep.
So Brian, where can people learn more about Western Digital's smart video storage solutions?
Well, you can all come by to our website, westerndigital.com, and at the very top, you'll see business solutions. And when you click on that, you'll see under the I believe it's under use cases, smart video surveillance. You click on that and it'll take you to a page. I'll talk about the use cases, and then the links to the product line that we have that's designed for smart video.
All right, that's great. Well, Brian, thank you for taking the time to join us today, and have a good one.
Hey, thank you, Steve. Thanks for having me.